Did you know that nearly 30 million adolescents in the United States are involved in youth sports? Sports can serve as an outlet for many kids in many different aspects. A lot of kids even find their passion in the sport that they decide to play. An adolescent is defined by the World Health Organization as somebody between the ages of 10 through 19 years old. Even if an adolescent plays a sport in their younger years, but they don't decide to continue into their later years, there is still a lot that they can learn from the experiences that they had. I've been playing softball since I was 4 years old. I cannot even begin to describe what a big impact that it has had on me and my life. When I was 10 years old, I began playing competitive travel softball. I have had many life-changing experiences through my playing of travel softball, and I know that there are others who've experienced the same in their sports too. I believe that sports are important for adolescents because it serves as a great source of exercise and a great way to improve cardiovascular health, and I believe it helps adolescents develop life skills that otherwise may not be learned, and I believe it gives adolescents a sense of community, whether that be by participating in sports or simply viewing sports that they're interested in. Sports are good for adolescents because it is good for their overall health. Many adolescents participate in organized sports that have multiple practices and/or games per week. This means that the adolescent is getting frequent exercise, and the exercise can vary between cardiovascular strengthening or strength and muscular training or even some coordination training. It can be harder for older adolescents who are in high school to sometimes make time for exercise despite the importance. They often get overwhelmed by things like school, homework, jobs, and sometimes taking care of little siblings. Participating in an organized sport makes it much easier to already have exercise built into your schedule. I can personally say that softball is how I get most of my exercise. I go to multiple practices and workouts for my team per week. I also feel driven as an athlete to work out on my own, so that way I improve my overall sports performance. Also, if an adolescent is active when they are younger, they are more likely to continue being active into adulthood. Sports help adolescents develop life skills that otherwise may not be learned. When I was younger, I found it really hard to speak up, and this showed in situations like in school where I had a hard time communicating my ideas with other children. It wasn't until I started playing competitive travel softball that I realized just how important it is to communicate. Communication is essential on the softball field. There are 9 people out there on the field at once, all with different yet similar jobs, and it can be really confusing if no communication is utilized. It can even cost games. I soon realized how this can translate to life and how not communicating your ideas with others in everyday situations can have negative consequences as well. Had it not been for softball, I'm not sure that I would have learned this valuable life skill. This is also applicable to other life skills such as teamwork and respect for others. I know that there are other adolescents who play youth sports who have been impacted in this way as well. Sports give adolescents a sense of community, whether that be by playing the sport or simply enjoying and viewing the sport. As an adolescent, it is hard to feel like you belong somewhere or have people to belong to. A lot of team sports give adolescents that opportunity to feel a sense of belonging. Playing team sports is a good way for people with similar interests to connect with one another. You spend a lot of time with your teammates in a team sport, so it is very essential, and it often just happens that you form many friendships and trust develops. It can give adolescents a much needed sense of belonging. This is true even with adolescents who don't play sports, but they simply enjoy viewing and learning about sports. In conclusion, sports can be a great source of exercise for adolescents. They can help adolescents develop life skills that otherwise may not be learned, and they can give a sense of community to adolescents that is very important. I know that I would not be the same person today had it not been for my experience with sports, and I know that there are many other adolescents who can relate.